Hello. Don't forget to like and subscribe before starting the video. Who is William Henry Harrison? He was born into a prominent Virginia family, and his father, Benjamin Harrison V., was a signer of the Declaration of Independence. Growing up, Harrison received a classical education and attended the University of Pennsylvania for a year before leaving to join the military. Harrison's military career was long and distinguished. He served in the Army for over 20 years, fighting in several wars, including the Northwest Indian War, the War of 1812, and the Battle of Tippecanoe. Harrison's victory at Tippecanoe made him a popular hero and earned him the nickname Old Tippecanoe. In 1840, Harrison was nominated as the Whig Party's candidate for president. The Whigs were a political party that opposed President Martin Van Buren and his policies. Harrison's campaign focused heavily on his military background, and he was portrayed as a man of the people. The campaign used slogans and images to appeal to voters, including the famous "Tippecanoe and Tyler too" slogan. Harrison won the election in a landslide, receiving over 53% of the popular vote and carrying 19 of the 26 states. He was inaugurated on March 4, 1841, and gave a lengthy inaugural address in the cold and rain. This may have contributed to his later illness, as he developed pneumonia shortly after taking office. Harrison's presidency was cut short when he passed away on April 4, 1841, after serving for only 32 days. He was the first president to die in office, and his death led to questions about presidential succession and the eventual creation of the 25th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Vice President John Tyler assumed the presidency after Harrison's death, setting a precedent for future presidential succession. Despite his short time in office, Harrison's impact on American history cannot be overlooked. His military career, victory at Tippecanoe, and campaign tactics set a precedent for future presidents. His death in office also led to important changes in presidential succession. Today, Harrison is remembered as a symbol of American patriotism and a key figure in U.S. history. William Henry Harrison was born on February 9, 1773, in Charles City County, Virginia. His father, Benjamin Harrison, was a signer of the Declaration of Independence and a prominent Virginia planter. However, Harrison's father died when he was only 14 years old, leaving him a large estate that included a plantation and slaves. Harrison attended the University of Pennsylvania for 1 year before leaving to join the Army. Harrison's military career spanned over 20 years and included service in several wars. During the Northwest Indian War, Harrison served under General Mad Anthony Wayne and was involved in several key battles. In 1811, Harrison led a successful attack against Native American forces in the Battle of Tippecanoe in Indiana. This victory earned him the nickname Tippecanoe and boosted his reputation as a military leader. During the War of 1812, Harrison continued to serve in the military and was appointed as a brigadier general. He led American forces in the Battle of the Thames, where he defeated British and Native American forces and killed the Shawnee leader Tecumseh. Harrison's military career was highly respected, and his leadership abilities were admired by his peers and superiors. In addition to his military career, Harrison also served as the governor of the Indiana Territory from 1801 to 1812. During his time as governor, he worked to expand the territory and promote settlement, leading to the establishment of several new towns. Harrison's early life and military career played a significant role in shaping his later political career. His military victories and leadership abilities helped to establish him as a hero and a man of the people, which he leveraged during his successful presidential campaign in 1840. The presidential election of 1840 was a highly contested campaign that focused on personality and symbolism rather than policy. The Whig Party nominated William Henry Harrison, a military hero, as their candidate for president, hoping to capitalize on his popularity and paint him as a man of the people. The Whigs were a newly formed political party, consisting of former National Republicans and disenchanted Democrats who opposed President Martin Van Buren's policies, particularly his handling of the economic depression known as the Panic of 1837. To appeal to voters, Harrison's campaign employed several tactics that are still used in modern campaigns. The campaign also used images of Harrison as a war hero to portray him as a man of the people. They distributed thousands of copies of a lithograph that showed Harrison in military garb, standing in front of a log cabin and drinking hard cider. This image became known as the Log Cabin and Hard Cider campaign, and it was wildly successful in portraying Harrison as a humble man from the frontier. The Whigs also used tactics that targeted specific groups of voters. They appealed to women voters by creating Ladies Harrison clubs and distributing pamphlets that highlighted Harrison's support for temperance and morality. They also reached out to African American voters, promising to end slavery in the District of Columbia and supporting the colonization of free African Americans in Africa. Harrison won the election in a landslide, receiving over 53% of the popular vote and carrying 19 of the 26 states. His victory was a result of his popularity as a war hero and the Whigs' successful campaign tactics. Harrison's election marked the beginning of a new era in American politics, with campaigns focusing more on personality and symbolism rather than policy. William Henry Harrison's presidency was one of the shortest in American history, lasting only 32 days. He was inaugurated on March 4, 1841, and gave a lengthy inaugural address that lasted nearly 2 hours. The speech was delivered in cold and rainy weather, and Harrison refused to wear an overcoat or hat, leading some historians to speculate that he caught a cold that later developed into pneumonia. Harrison's health began to deteriorate shortly after his inauguration. He suffered from a fever, chills, and difficulty breathing. Despite receiving medical attention, his condition worsened, and he passed away on April 4, 1841. His death was a shock to the nation, and it sparked debate over the proper procedure for succession in the event of a president's death. Vice President John Tyler assumed the presidency after Harrison's death, becoming the first vice president to do so. Tyler's assumption of the presidency was controversial, as some argued that he was only meant to be an acting president until a new election could be held. However, Tyler claimed that he was the rightful president and established a precedent for future vice presidents to assume the presidency in the event of a president's death. Harrison's brief presidency did not allow him to make any significant policy changes or leave a lasting impact on American history. However, his death served as a reminder of the importance of presidential succession and the need for clear guidelines in the event of a president's death or incapacitation. Although William Henry Harrison's presidency was short-lived, his legacy had a significant impact on American politics and history. Harrison's untimely death just 1 month into his presidency raised important questions about presidential succession and the need for a clear plan for the transfer of power in the event of a president's death or incapacity. This led to the eventual passage of the 25th Amendment to the Constitution in 1967, which established procedures for the vice president to assume the presidency in the event of a president's death, resignation, or removal from office. Harrison's successful presidential campaign in 1840 also left a lasting impact on American politics. His use of campaign slogans, such as "Tippecanoe and Tyler too," and imagery, such as portraying himself as a war hero, set a precedent for future presidential campaigns. These tactics became standard in American politics, and presidential candidates still use slogans and imagery to appeal to voters today. Finally, Harrison's military career and victory at the Battle of Tippecanoe cemented his place in American history as a symbol of American patriotism and heroism. He is still remembered today as a military hero who fought to protect American interests and played a key role in the expansion of the country. In conclusion, although William Henry Harrison's time in office was brief, his legacy had a lasting impact on American politics, presidential campaigns, and the country's history. In conclusion, William Henry Harrison's life and presidency left a significant impact on American history. Despite serving as president for only 32 days, he contributed to the establishment of the presidential succession plan, set the tone for future presidential campaigns, and is remembered as a symbol of American patriotism. As we continue to study American history, it's important to remember the contributions of all of our country's leaders, including those who served for a short period of time. William Henry Harrison's legacy reminds us that even the shortest presidency can have a significant impact on the course of American history. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it informative, Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future.